There goes Chris. Disconnected.
You don't need any fuel.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
Come alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
We believe it means more when something's made by hand here at Cracker Barrel, and we hope you think so too. So stop on by. You're always welcome.
Hello and welcome everyone to the iRacing Stock Car Association Tucson Sound Art Cup Series. We sure are excited to be here. We saw an exciting race on Thursday here at Kansas, and going to have another running here of the Cracker Barrel 200. We have quite a few guys out here going to be making the start here, and what a track this is! I mean, you're going to see, a lot of these grooves are going to be to work. You're going to see guys running on the top. You're going to see guys running on the bottom. It's just all really going to depend on how that car is set up here. But before we get started on the race, everybody's out there qualifying right now. Let's take a little quick look at the points here for the Cup Series standings here. Chris Rivera, after 8 races, is still in the points lead. Ryan Strunk in second place. Greg Wyszynski in third place. Eric Kling in fourth. Kenny Powell in fifth. Al Kozlowski, sixth. Justin Levine in seventh place. Eighth place, Kenny Thompson. Ninth place, Gary Adamson. And rounding out our top 10 in points here for the regular Cup Series is Josh Schaffner, who I don't believe is here yet tonight. We have Mr. Big Al standing by with the Super Cup points.
Yeah, how's it going there, Brian? I think this is going to be an awesome race. That Super Cup standings is going to show Chris Rivera also in the lead there, with Eric Kling going to be second place, just like a couple points behind him. I think it's 124. Justin Levine is going to be in third with Noah Bitts in fourth. Kenny Powell fifth. Josh Schaffner is in sixth. Clayton Hoffman's in seventh. Ryan Strunk's in eighth. Ninth place shows Greg Wyszynski, and Al Kozlowski will be rounding out our top 10 in that Super Cup Series championship.
Well, definitely heating up for sure. I think a lot of these guys are going to be trying to make sure they have a good finish here tonight. One, we're going to watch Chris Rivera probably going to be trying to definitely extend that points lead in both of those, point standings. Al Kozlowski looking to have himself a top 3 tonight. I know looking at pace-wise, I do believe Brian Johnson, he's one we haven't seen in quite a while. He's showing up here tonight and looking pretty quick. And I mentioned earlier about Josh Schaffner. Doesn't seem like he's going to be making the trip here tonight. Also, Eric Kling, he did turn some practice laps, but unfortunately he is suffering from some illness right now. So we definitely prayers going out to him. Hopefully he feels better. But excited to get this race underway. Only 40 seconds left in qualifying here, and we are set to do 134 laps with 2 stages. 25 and 50 will be the end of those 2 stages here. And, of course, these guys are going to have 6 sets of tires down in the pits here. The fuel runs about 50 laps here, so I would expect we're going to see green flag pit stops, considering we did see them on Thursday out.
Yeah, roger that. So I think it's going to be an awesome race. Besides, so hopefully they will be able to keep this thing clean, though, and go for the remainder of that, Brian. And like you said, should be an exciting race.
100%. Now, usually we would play our national anthem, but Mr. Rob Melnick, of course, has been indisposed for tonight. So, unfortunately, we do got to give a big shout out to Kenny Powell behind the cameras here. But we are going to be getting set to get gridded here. Qualifying is over. And it looks like we got Chris Severa going to qualify on the pole here. Al Kozlowski, second place. Third place going to be Kenny Thompson. Fourth place, Jose Acosta. Fifth place, Gary Adamson. Sixth place, Robert Pattengale. Seventh place, Derek Jacobs. And if you want to take the rest of the field there, Al.
Yeah, definitely will. Trying to get everything set up here. Yeah, go ahead and take that, Brian. I'm still getting my stuff set up.
All right, that's perfectly fine. John Mullins going to be starting in 8th place. Brian Johnson in 9th place. Of course, Eric Kling is not going to be making the start here, I do not believe. So I do believe Greg Wachinski is going to be moving up to 9th. Don Avery going to be in 10th place. Chris Johnson in 11th. Paul Olson in 12th, and I do believe Ryan Strunk in 14th here. So a little bit of confusing there. We see Eric Kling and Kenny Powell in the standings here, but they are not going to be making starts. So just ignore their names for now. As we get set to get racing here, everybody's got gridded up, and I think we're going to see an interesting race. I think it's a very similar temperature to what we saw on Thursday also. Looking at the track temp right now, 119. That's actually picture perfect on what we saw Thursday. So, and that made it very much a handful for these guys to drive around this racetrack. The top line seemed like it was the more dominant line for sure, but we did see some guys really throwing in on the bottom. But it seems like you get handling conditions definitely are going to plague you if you try to use that bottom.
Yeah, definitely. The bottom has not been favorable for those guys running this low downforce, high horsepower package. That car definitely doesn't hook up like that old car did. Just a little bit too fast, I think, there, Brian.
Yeah, definitely very fast. And, of course, like I mentioned before, we're going to have stage breaks. One going to be ending at lap 25. So not a long stage there. Going to really not going to be enough to really gauge what the long run is going to look like. Of course, that final stage is going to be what that's for. I do believe these first two stages are going to be a little bit of an experimental phase, though, for these guys to lay in some adjustments, which I do believe these guys are definitely going to be wanting to do, just with how, especially how the car handles in clean air versus dirty air. I think that's going to be the big story here tonight. And Severa is going to want to try to stay out in clean air as long as he can.
Yeah, Severa definitely runs a lot better once he's got that Inferno Ford out front. He does struggle a little bit once he's in traffic, but this track right here specifically, that the leader's going to get he's going to get his lion's share of that clean air, and that's going to make a tremendous difference.
Definitely, for sure. We saw Brandon Pasalacqua win on Thursday, and of course he's not in here tonight, so this is going to give another chance for someone else to rise to the occasion, get some much-needed points here, and put on a heck of a show. And we're glad everybody's out there tuning in as the pace car lights are out. We're in 3 and 4 right now, soon to get racing, and I'm excited, Al.
Exciting is the word for it, Brian, because the lights are off on the pace car, and he's going to be ducking down on the inside. And that means we are going to be getting ready to go green flag racing here at Kansas. So what's Severa going to do? You think he's going to lay off, or you think he's going to dive right into it?
Well, it looks like he's waiting until the green flag, and still side by side with Al Kozlowski. But I do believe he's going to slide right up in front there. Kenny Thompson doing a great job of qualifying third here. Curious. Qualifying, it can mean a lot here, but then again, I mean, track position is definitely important, but I think your overall race pace is going to be what we're going to have to watch out for tonight. I don't think it's really that indicative of your overall pace.
Yeah, absolutely. And Severa is going on, and he's going to lead this field here as we get ready to go. And we are green flag racing, which is awesome. That's what everybody wants to see. Looks like he's got Kozlowski, his G&G teammate's going to be running. It's interesting to see how these guys are running slightly different lines, Brian. So that just lets you know just how much of this racetrack actually is available for that run.
Yeah, this is a very wide racetrack. I mean, there definitely is, I think, a dominant line that you want to run a little bit on the top. But you can see Al Kozlowski definitely trying to utilize the clean air that he can get to try to get up there to Chris Severa. And I think that's exactly what it is. These guys are going to try to, benefit from the draft in the straightaways. But in the corners, you're going to want to try to at least, get out of their line a little bit. That we can get a little bit of clean air on that nose and be able to compete here. As Al Kozlowski looking really good and really strong here in the early goings. I know on Thursday he was struggling quite a bit. Maybe some practice time really helped out that car.
Yeah, definitely. The more laps you put around any track definitely is going to definitely pay dividends in handling and track performance. So, and that's what we generally see when we come to these races here. But just the guys that actually got the better set, setups, so to speak, are actually going to be the better ones. It's good to see Chris Johnson back. He actually hadn't been with us here for a while, so he's got that 5-0 Ford back out there. That 4.8 G&G Racing Ford back out there. So I think that's going to be awesome, as he has generally done pretty well in this Saturday night series.
Yeah, he definitely has. A lot of guys been doing very well in this Saturday night series. I expect we're going to see a lot of guys, the cream starting to rise to the top, if you will, as this race is progressing here now on lap 5. And tire wear is going to be one of the main things I think these guys are going to have to deal with here tonight. I mean, they only have 6 sets of tires to use. And, I've seen tire wear be worse than Darlington at this racetrack.
Yeah, I mean, but it is definitely refreshing to be able to get back on a mile and a half, so these guys can stretch their legs back out. Because I know everybody's been antsy. I mean, we've been all over the place, but now we actually get to get back out and get some good horsepower running. Not quite flat out, but just good to let these horses run, if you will.
Yeah, they're definitely not going to be flat out. There's a lot of lifting that goes on, especially in the later portions of the run. And these guys definitely going to be trying to manage that and figure out, how hard is too hard to run this car to get, to make sure that you don't burn that equipment up. I mean, resource management, I think, is going to be everything here. And I think that's what these first 2 stages are going to be all about, kind of figuring out, what the tire wear is looking like and how can I adjust my car and also adjust my driving to make it so I don't burn as much.
Yeah, and right now, that is, I think, the biggest thing that you're trying to do in the first couple of stages of this run is you're trying to actually get that car dialed in as best you can and be able to get that fuel data and the tire data.
Kenny Thompson has made his way around Al Kozlowski. He's up to second now as Al Kozlowski trying to fight his way back up to him. Jose Acosta trying also to catch here. And one thing I've heard a lot of people say is, running on that apron here on that front stretch really heats those tires up quite a bit. So I think as this run goes on, you're going to see less and less guys doing that. But a lot of guys definitely seeming like they're trying to just maybe take it a little bit easier. Even though there are points on the line, a lot of these guys are not wanting to really risk it for the biscuit, if you will, like you probably would say, Al.
That's right, risk it for the biscuit. Key thing here, Brian, is just going to be, especially this stage of the race, is just you want to stay clean. Keep the car in one piece. You don't want to run into the wall. Definitely don't want to run into anybody else. It's just time to, like we said, just let that racetrack come to you, because even though it is picture perfect right now, it is going to change. And these drivers, as those tires wear down a little bit, they too will have to actually change their driving style just a little bit, because these things can get a little sporty, and it doesn't take much for it to rotate on you.
Oh, it definitely does not at all. I mean, you get on the gas just a little bit too hard, a little too early, definitely can spin right out for you. But I tell you what, Jose Acosta definitely doing a great job in that John Deere machine. He's looking like a John Deere right now as he drives his way up to the podium.
Yeah, Jose actually started off pretty strong last week. I think this will be his 3rd race here with us, so he'll definitely be wanting to kind of see how he's going to play into the points, if you will. But he has actually come on strong in this series, and that's really good. More fresh blood.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that's one thing we love about this series. These guys getting some challenges. Some guys that come in here and challenge, and also you got the old guard in here. Really pushing those guys to get better, and nothing like it. As we see Chris Rivera really is just benefiting so much from that clean air. But looking at lap times, though, Jose Acosta not that far off. I mean, he
was Ron Strunk. Looks like he has just got a little bit sideways. Came right across that infield, but I think he's going to be able to police it back up, and we're not going to get a caution for that. But just shows you just how quickly things can change on you there.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, that was almost picture perfect. A recreation of what we saw on Thursday with Noah Bitts. He did that twice, went through the grass, and that's what kind of cost him the ability to even have a chance to win that race. But Ryan Strunk now falling all the way back to the end of this field, right there behind Greg Wyszynski. And Jose Acosta taking over second here. This guy is storming his way up through this field right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, he was very, very strong last week and the week before that. You know, he just didn't actually get that finish that he wanted. But, you know, hey, maybe this will be his shot because it is still early on in the racing. So it's anybody's race. So as long as people can't stay clean, not a good look for that 77, as he is definitely showing some front end damage. But, you know, hey, he'll have an opportunity here probably in about 10 laps or so to visit pit road and get some of his guys actively engaged in repairing that 77 machine.
Oh, and we just saw some problems there from Robert Pattengale. He had just worked his way up into the top 5 there for a moment, and now has fallen back to 7th here, gotten really loose on exit there. So tires definitely starting to catch up with some of these guys as I think they're pushing a little hard. Brian Johnson now up into the top 5. Glad to see him back for sure. That Fuller machine, always usually a strong contender, as he's going to try to catch up to Al Kozlowski.
Yeah, Al Kozlowski's got to be feeling pretty good about his situation here running in the top 5. Definitely he could benefit from a strong points event as well because you know, I believe he was wrecked at Talladega. Also had a pretty interesting run in last week. So maybe he can actually have a strong showing here because, you know, the points, if you look at them, it tells a story. You know, you got a couple guys with 3 wins, maybe 1 or 2 guys with, well, you got 1 guy with 3 wins, a couple guys with 2 wins, and then a couple guys with 1 wins. But just the opportunity to get out here and put laps in is what they're going to need to do. It's going to be interesting to see, though, if Chris Severa is actually able to maintain that position that he has. You know, because Chris can come out here and he can do well. But sometimes it's easy to say, Brian, he has been his own worst enemy.
No, I think you got that right on the nail, right on the head there. I mean, he has definitely been the fastest so far tonight, but we've also seen him, you know, definitely trip over his own 2 feet, and that could happen tonight. I mean, especially when green flag pit stops are you know, going to happen at some point, you know, later in this race. I mean, and you know, pit road.
Just like that, coming through the grass. Looks like,
no.
I couldn't have said it sooner, but it looks like he actually got a little bit ahead of himself. That car rotated. Now he's got himself a shiner, and it's going to be fighting the battle to keep that lead as that 42 car of Jose Costa could not be coming along at a better time. So now, just like I said, you know, this is what this race is about. You have to keep your head. You got to be mentally sharp because if you're not, you know, whoops, there you go. So now these two are going to be battling for the lead here, Brian. So I think that's going to get pretty exciting now.
Oh, it definitely is. It's getting exciting at right now as Jose putting a lot of pressure on him. That damage on that right side is going to be hurting Chris Severa quite a bit here. That just seems to be the story of both Thursday and Saturday here at Kansas. It seems like it's just so easy to get loose or, you know, have a handling condition and, you know, smack that wall, go take a trip through the grass. And, you know, we saw he had over 2 seconds, almost 3 seconds of a lead and just went away with the snap of the fingers.
Yep, just takes a split second, Brian, because that's exactly what happens here, you know. I mean, so that's what's so exciting about this race, because, and we're going to see that as this thing goes on through the second stage as well as the third stage. You know, these guys are just going to be out there, it seems like, just to be driving along, and then all of a sudden you have something totally exciting like that to actually come along. So now we look and we have a battle going on for the lead with these tires being what they are. I think Acosta's cars probably looks like it's definitely set up for that medium run. I just want to know if he's got any long run speed in that thing. What do you think?
I think he might. I mean, he's looking like he's definitely got a good bit of long run pace. I mean, looking at the lap times though from everybody out in the field, I mean, they started out hitting 30, 0.9, 31 flats. Now in the 32 range for a lot of these drivers. So fall off has definitely been very prevalent here. As you can even see Chris Severa right now, he is having a time trying to handle that race car.
Yeah, that damage on the right front of that 62 Inferno Ford's definitely not going to help it out. But, you know, he's going to have an opportunity coming up here real soon here because, just like that here in less than 4 laps at pit road, we're going to be bringing this stage 1 to an end. And I guarantee you for Chris Severa, that probably couldn't come soon enough.
No, yeah, I think that you are right on the money there. He's going to be probably taking an extended pit stop here to get some of those repairs taken care of. Ryan Strunk probably going to be doing the exact same thing. So that could put him in dirty air for this second stage, and that is something you don't want to be in here at this track, especially if you're not prepared for it.
Yeah, I just hate that for Chris Severa because that's just so typical of things that just have occurred to him just in just the last couple of races.
Al Kozlowski able to go up to the 4th position, getting around Brian Johnson. Johnson has some right front damage too, so apparently, I think at the end of this thing, everybody's going to have some type of lick of damage on that right front.
I guess we'll start calling this the Kansas stripe, maybe. I
don't know.
The Kansas
more like the Kansas sledgehammer, I'd say.
Yeah, there you go. The Kansas City Speedway sledgehammer. Yeah, a lot of these teams are going to be definitely busy once we get under caution here for the end of this stage. As speaking of which, pit road actually is closed right now as we're continuing on and going to be closing this first stage up really quick. Caution free, but it's been nonetheless an exciting race to say.
Robert Pattengill working his way by Brian Johnson. Now he's up into the top 5. Johnson apparently falling back quickly here as that damage definitely prevalent on him. Chris Severa, I do believe, going to be able to hang on as the white flag for the stage coming out.
That is so awesome to see Robert Pattengill actually making himself up into the 5th place. If he can actually maintain that position through this stage 1, that's going to be a great points payout for him. He's also been MIA for the last couple of races here, Brian.
Yeah, unfortunate that he's been MIA. I mean, he's not one that we usually say is one of the fastest guys out there, but I think that over the time that we've broadcasted and commentated and watched Robert Pattengill, I think we've seen him grow quite a bit as he's been out here.
Absolutely. Chris Severa now bringing that 62 G&G forward around. Looks like he is going to be your stage 1 winner. That caution yet for stage 1 yet to wave as this contest is going to continue, but there it is. And so as all of the cars come across the line, we'll go ahead and give you those top 10 points positions for stage 1. Your stage 1 winner, Chris Severa, followed by the number 2 in the 2nd place, the 42 car Jose Acosta. Kenny Thompson's coming in with that 3rd place, showing Al Kozlowski in 4th, with Robert Pattengill in 5th place. Gary Adamson is going to be secure in 6th. Brian Johnson going to be secure in 7th. Don Avery in 8th. John Mullins 9th. And Chris D. Johnson is going to be rounding out your top 10 points playing positions in the stage 1. With that, let's step away and get a word from our sponsors.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing SoundArt, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
Come alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With SoundArt, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
Well, welcome back. What a race we've seen here. Chris Severa not wasting any time. I'm surprised he didn't take more damage, while he had the chance on pit road. I guess he's going to try to just go with the hand he's been dealt right now, but he is your stage 1 winner. I do believe we'll go ahead and grab him up and see if we can't have a conversation with him after that stage 1 victory. We got him here in the booth, Mr. Chris Severa, your stage 1 winner, man. A little bit of some hiccups during that stage 1, though. I mean, it looked like you almost are getting ready to lose that stage win, man. What went wrong?
Yeah, we're definitely off for trying to use all the track we could and just flipped it with the left rear on the safer barrier and then just brought the front end around. But track position is way too important to be waiting on pit road for the repairs right now, so we're going to salvage hopefully what we can here on the shorter stage and try get it fixed going into stage 3.
Yeah, track position definitely very important. Going to be very important there in that final stage, man. Well, we definitely wish you the best of luck. I mean, definitely the damage on that right front doesn't look good, but it seems like you still had the speed to be able to hold off Jose there. How are you feeling about stage 3? Or stage 2? Did you make any adjustments while you're in pit road?
Yeah, it was definitely starting to get looser on me, so I tightened it up a bit here. Expecting it to get probably looser as the track temp comes down, if it's anything like how it was last week. So we're just going to try and stay ahead of the track if we can.
All right. Well, we wish you the best of luck going into stage 2, man. Who can we shout out for you after stage 1 victory?
I just appreciate you guys, Tucson Sound Art, Rain Energy, Gas and Go Racing. Like always, you guys up in the booth. Appreciate you.
Well, we definitely appreciate you too. Definitely injecting some excitement for us tonight, and good luck.
Thank you.
That was your stage 1 winner here, Chris Severa. Could we talk to someone different in stage 2? I don't know, as we should be having the pace car lights going out any time out.
Yeah, that first stage was definitely quite exciting. So hopefully we'll be able to get this thing rolling again. And now stage 2, we'll see if it holds a little bit of the same. And you think maybe it'll be a little different. I think it's going to be a little the same. I think a lot of drivers now are going to be trying to figure out where they're gonna end this thing, because that's going to be the key. It's going to be where you end stage 2. Because Brian, the deal is there's not going to be any more opportunities to get points, and you got to take advantage of every opportunity you can. Lights are off on the pace car, and we should be resuming green flag racing here pretty soon. I'm pretty excited. What about yourself?
Well, I'm definitely excited. Also, I'm curious. The accidents we've seen here at Kansas have not been really ones that have lent to cautions. I think the same thing could probably be said for Thursday. So I feel like a lot of these guys, the accidents we're seeing are when they go through the grass, on exit, stuff like that happens. So I think we're going to definitely have a lot of caution-free racing going on here as the pace car gets ready to go down pit road. Chris Severa going to have the field in hand once again. I'm curious, is that damage going to hurt his short run? I mean, it could. He didn't seem like it was hurting him too bad in the long run, or in the mid run, as I should say here. It's the green flag back out in the air. Chris Severa up through the gears. Side by side, Kenny Thompson. I do believe Al Kozlowski right now. Thompson going to be able to get by Al and take over third. Robert Pattengale trying to hold on to that top 5, but it looks like Don Avery going to be moving up into 6th place here. Gary Adamson now in 5th.
It's interesting to see how Kozlowski always comes down on that inside. This thing gets going. Now you see Thompson now as he's dodging down on the inside. So you got to set this car up for those turns, because that's number one. Is going to get you your momentum going down that back stretch. It's going to take you into 3 and 4. These guys are definitely they're putting in some awesome laps here for us, Brian.
Don Avery into the outside wall a little bit there, just a touch. Not, I think that's about, if that's a. That wasn't the worst hit there for him, but still a little touch on the wall. Definitely, this is a momentum track, so if you touch that wall at all, it's going to take a little bit of that momentum away. That's going to allow Gary Adamson to stay in 5th here. I know Don Avery getting a run on the high side, so side by side for that 5th position. And now Kozlowski trying to take Jose Acosta side by side for 2nd. Kozlowski's been running really good on the bottom, and I've talked to him a little bit throughout the week. He just does not feel comfortable running on the top side, so definitely trying to suit his strengths here, running on that bottom.
Yeah, but you have to be able to use every bit of this racetrack in order to be successful here, because these conditions are going to change. And plus, once you're running in traffic, you got to be able to maneuver these things. So hats off to those guys being able to handle that steel at those high speeds. You know what I mean? We're running excess of 170 miles an hour. So that just lets you know how fast these cars can get on this track, sometimes getting all the way up to 190 in some cases, Brian.
Yeah, these guys definitely are booking it around this racetrack right now as Jose Acosta tries to still challenge Al Kozlowski. Al Kozlowski pulling away. I think Jose made a wisdom decision here. He knows he has the car in the longer run. So I think I'd let Al go up there and kind of burn his equipment up. But yeah, I think you're right. I think the guys that are able to run right up against that wall, they're definitely going to be the ones that have a little bit more metal. It's very brave running up on that wall. I mean, I actually took some time to practice yesterday and went around this track, and man, it is pretty difficult to hold, stay on that wall. So run that Larson line, if you will.
Yeah, but it does pay dividends if you're able to do that. And I'm just wondering how close or similar those setups are for that 62 and that 88, because you got to imagine those guys being on the same team. That should show you. Seems like they got their cars kind of dialed in, but Acosta almost looked in that last run that he got faster as that run went on. But this run, he seems to be a little off. Not sure what's going on with that 42 car, but I think he's off the pace just a little bit.
He definitely is. I see exactly what you're talking about here. Kenny Thompson's going to make his way up in third, making that pass on him. But, I mean, I think that he's going to have a resurgence later in this run. I mean, maybe it could have been an adjustment that he made on that machine. A lot of guys probably did make some adjustments under that stage 1 caution, to try to get their cars handled a little bit better. And it's very easy to make a mistake. I mean, I know when it comes to me adjusting on a car, like if I was in these guys' shoes and I had to make an adjustment, I think I'd probably make the wrong one.
Right, yeah, that's the reason why it takes a team. But a lot of guys out here jockeying for position, they are moving this thing around as Chris Johnson actually just goes by to Greg Wachinski. But, that's just letting you know that there's still racing going on everywhere, and these guys are having to deal with not only just the track, but they're actually having to maneuver around each other. I want to keep reiterating that, because if your car doesn't like being on that bottom, it's really not a whole lot you can do about it if you got a car on the inside, as we're going 3 wide right here for position going around the turn.
Yeah, a lot of battling going on here as Brian Johnson makes his way up to 9th here, getting around Gary Adamson and Paul Olson. And a lot of these guys definitely struggling a little bit. I think you're right. I mean, you have to, you want that car to be able to run good up on the top, but you're going to have that in your tool bag, though, on the bottom. I mean, because sometimes you're going to be forced to try to make that pass on the bottom. But sometimes, though, you try to make that pass on the bottom, it opens you up for guys behind you. I mean, this is one of those tracks where as soon as you try to go down and make that pass, a lot of other guys could try to, go on the top and go right around you.
Yeah, and that is the frustrating thing here, because, just having to actually be in that drag race with another driver when you're just trying to, just let me go, but it doesn't always happen like that.
Yeah, I'll say you could be faster than them, but it doesn't matter in a lot of times. I mean, if you're not able to get that run on that bottom, I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, they're going to be up there in that lane, and, that's the ultimate protecting line. I think defending line is probably that top side. Is Al Kozlowski only a half a second behind Chris Rivera. Ooh, I heard some contact with the wall. I do believe Derek Jacobs.
Derek Jacobs, another driver who's actually made a couple of appearances here, but hadn't actually been consistent. Good to actually see him back out here tonight, actually getting a good run in for us as well. Now we'll see that it looks like Acosta is kind of stable in that 3rd place position. I think this is what I was talking about. It appears that he gets to a point in the run and where he falls off, but then just like that, he comes back up on that curve and starts rolling again real well.
Oh, Don Avery getting really loose right in front of Robert Pattengale there.
Yeah, Pattengale actually having to go up around the high side. Avery actually losing that momentum, and it looks like Johnson's going to be trying to actually take advantage of that same situation and make that pass on the outside.
I've been so impressed with what I've been seeing out of Robert Pattengale at this stage in the race. I mean, he's holding speeds that are pretty much comparable to what the leader's doing right now. So I've been loving what I'm seeing out of that 17. As we do see Johnson is able to get around Avery. Avery just suffering from a really bad loose condition. Greg Wachinski's going to take advantage of it. And that's another one we haven't seen quite a lot of. I mean, Don Avery, we've seen him, in this series before, but he hasn't been a regular here in recent, memory. So, maybe he's a little rusty.
Yeah, Avery's got a little bit of damage on that car, so I think that has definitely slowed him down a little bit. But nonetheless, I think once he figures it out, though, he's going to be all right.
Well, this stage has flown right on by, now soon to be on lap 45, so it's going to be only 6 laps to go when we cross the line this next time. And Jose Acosta definitely has been picking up speed here. Can he catch up here to Al Kozlowski? Kozlowski has been running just a hair slower than Chris Severa. Paul Olson losing the spot here. Gary Adamson working his way into the top 10.
Caution.
Oh, big problems here. Don Avery and Greg Wachinski. Big wreck. The yellow's out.
Well, that's going to make it a little bit interesting because with the caution coming out here with just, less than 5 laps to go, that's going to put us into possibly a green-white shootout, a green-white checker for the stage 2. So, to pit or not to pit, Brian? That's the question.
And we are getting word this is not the stage caution. I want to take a look back at this accident.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see, though. I mean, are you going to pit now, or are you going to stay out? Because when this thing goes green again, you're going to possibly have a 1-lap shootout here for that stage to be over. So track position being important, but are you going to actually have the tires to take off and keep that thing straight, especially if the guys back, say, third or third and further back decide to actually go and pit?
Yeah, it definitely is going to be a question on a lot of these guys' mind. Just looking back at this accident here, it looks like it almost was a little bit of a net code. Greg Wachinski got a little bit tight there and just got turned around, and huge damage on Don Avery, missing the front end. But I do think you're right. I think this is going to be a big decision here. Because it's going to be a short run to the end of the stage, I could go either way. I could argue either things there.
Looks like it was split right in half, as seemingly like that last half of that field all having nothing to lose. Coming on down pit road for 4 fresh tires and some Sunoco racing fuel. So when they come back, even though it's a short run, but that 1.5 miles, those fresh tires, I don't know, Brian. I think this is going to be one of those times where you're going to be sitting back biting your nails.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think Chris Severa is going to have to hope that he's got enough of a buffer between those guys on the newer tires. And the way that these guys were falling off, I mean, they had fallen off enough, almost a second to fall off even a little bit more. So I definitely think that the guys on new tires are going to benefit from that and drive probably right around these guys. But one thing about it, I mean, that could cause problems. When you got new tires versus old tires, it's hard to predict the differences in momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that. And I guarantee you, one good thing for those guys that did opt to get tires, a great opportunity now to get some damage fixed. Severa commenting on just how important track position is. He's still driving around with that beat up B. So one more good shot to the chin on that thing, he's going to have himself some severe issues. I promise you that.
Oh, yeah. Paul Olson, last-minute decision there to go down pit road here. Pace car lights are still out, or still on, I should say. So interesting decisions going on right now. I mean, I don't blame these guys for taking that set. I mean, we mentioned it before, six sets of tires that these guys have. I mean, to play around with. I mean, I think that's enough that you can get away with making a decision like that.
Well, yeah, you just won't come in during the caution.
Yeah, I mean, I do still think that, even that 2 laps that these guys are going to have on that tires for that for the end of this stage, definitely enough. It still could add up when it comes to the long run, considering that, stage 3, we're probably going to see the longest run we're going to see all night.
Yeah, these drivers are definitely going to be in a position because now you've got enough data, you see where you're sitting. You want to get up front, and you want to get up front and stay up front, especially once we get into stage 3. Stage 2 is getting ready to come to an end. But in stage 3, that's where that track position is going to be the utmost important, because the further back you are, the further back you're going to go.
Yeah, especially when you're on if you elect not to pit, even with that 2-lap difference on tires here. I do believe the pace car lights going off right now, so we're going to be prepared to go back racing here. I'm definitely curious what this is going to look like. Could we even see some wheel spin? I mean, with different, older tires, usually starting at a track like this, you could see some guys maybe press that gas a little too hard and it kicks sideways.
No, man, that never happens.
It never happens.
That won't happen here. No. No. You're saying that you think someone could get loose on the restart?
Could happen. I mean, I've seen it before. I mean, guy gets on the gas a little too hard. We'll have to wait and see how that works. I mean, especially they also had a chance for the tires to cycle a little bit, cool down. So even though they are on older tires, a little bit warmer than the guys on newer tires, could it still be an issue of not being up to temperature?
Yeah, that is exactly. Those are the issues that these guys they're gonna face, because those tires are old tires, are gonna be cold tires. And those new tires, you got to get some heat into them. But because there's been a couple heat cycles on those older tires, yeah, it will make a difference. Even though how slight, Chris Severa now getting that launch, no trouble there.
Oh, I told you, Jose Acosta. You saw him as soon as he went down onto that apron. He got loose, man. Woo. But he kept it together. What a start there for these guys. It's going to allow Chris Severa to really just pull away.
Yeah, he is definitely going to try to pull away, and there's no chance of getting the draft going, as these guys are just going to be battling it out here, trying to get up to speed and to get this thing going, Brian, as we are going to be coming around. And I think that's going to put us sort of white flag here for the end of this stage.
And I don't think there was enough time for the guys on newer tires to really catch up here. You see Chris Johnson, I do believe he's on one of the guys on the newer tires trying to catch up here. I think he's going to run out of time. He might be able to get up there and maybe get into the podium.
Well, that's what you got to do. You have to give every opportunity you can to get this thing going. As Keselowski now is going to find himself fighting for position on the inside.
And it looks like we are soon to have that yellow flag come out. And Chris Severa looking like he's going to hold on to another stage win. And he's even got a damaged car. So, I mean, he is just wheeling that machine here. Kenny Thompson moving his way up into second here. Al Keselowski going to be hanging on to third. Jose Acosta looking like he's going to fall back to fourth here.
Still not having that. Oh, there's that stage caution as those last cars are around. So there we go now. They risked it. Maybe it paid off. Maybe it didn't. Looks like those guys that stayed out were actually able to maintain their position. So that's always key. These stage points, Brian, they are so critical, because even though you're looking at 1 or 2 points, those 1 or 2 points, you don't get any opportunity to get those points.
No, you definitely want to get them when you can. You definitely want to try to get them as much as you can. I mean, that those 1 or 2 points could be, really make a difference on, standings at the end of this season. I mean, But, I mean, I don't know. I've always been of the mind I want to go for the win. So hopefully these guys are going to have put themselves in that position to challenge for this win here. And I don't know. I'm excited to see this final stage.
Yeah, that's right. So as stage 2 comes to an end, those stage results were Chris Severa, your stage 2 winner, Kenny Thompson in second, Al Keselowski third, Jose Acosta fourth, Chris D. Johnson in fifth with Gary Adamson in sixth, Ryan Strunk in seventh, Robert Pattengale in eighth, Paul Osen in ninth, and Brian Johnson in 10th place. So with that done and said, let's take a station break here to get a word from our sponsors.
We believe it means more when something's made by hand here at Cracker Barrel, and we hope you think so too. So stop on by. You're always welcome.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
Come alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
And welcome back. I think we're going to actually try to bring Brian Johnson up. Brian Johnson's Big Al up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, Big Al, I copy.
Hey, so first 2 stages in the books. You elected to stay out. What's going on down there?
Yeah, let's see if we can get some easy track position, some clean air.
Yeah. So did you have how's your car handling so far through the first stages?
It's handling okay. It's a little bit loose late in the run. Yeah, I gotta really concentrate on saving the right rear tire, not to overheat it. So just keep it out of that wall. I've already hit it a couple times. So
are you anticipating that we're actually going to have a caution-free stage 3, or you got an over/under for us? What are your predictions?
I hope it's caution free. Car seems to be pretty good on the long run, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, all right. I appreciate your time up here. While I got your attention, anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to you guys, G&G. You guys are doing an awesome job. So hopefully we put on a good show and keep it out of the wall.
Well, roger that, and good luck to you, sir. Hopefully we'll get to talk to you at the end of this thing.
All right, thanks, guys.
That was Brian Johnson, going to be the leader here going back to green here. Pace car lights are out, and as you can see, Chris Severa, I do believe, probably try to get some damage repaired, so he's going to be in dirty air for the first time tonight, Al. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, but the best thing is, get that car repaired, because like I said, if you hitting the wall one time is one thing, but hitting that wall again in the same spot, that can be very detrimental.
Yeah, definitely can be for sure. As we did see Al Kozlowski struggling on pit road. He missed his box, had to take a reverse back a little bit there. He is now back in 10th, so he's going to have a huge mountain here to climb.
Well, the good thing about it is he might just be able to take his time, conserve his tires. Al Kozlowski is the guy that does just that. He's always in the back kind of hanging out. As we are back to green and flag racing, Severa actually fighting for the same piece of real estate. Not sure what's going on there.
Yeah, we saw Kenny Thompson get really a little bit wiggly there too, but he's able to hold on to second. Now side by side for third. Battle of the Chris. The Chris's, I should say. Severa able to come up on top. He's in third now. Now going to be looking on the inside of Kenny Thompson. So that dirty air does not seem to be affecting him very much in the early portions of this thing. But Brian Johnson going to love that these guys are fighting behind him, because that's just going to do nothing but good for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And now the key thing is going to be just try to kind of hold on to it, Brian, and let it rotate on its own. Save those tires. Like Johnson was saying at that break, you just don't want to heat up that right rear too much, because that will affect the way this thing handles, and that will affect how long you're actually able to stay out. So the final stage underway. New leader Johnson actually running away with this thing. Severa back in third, trying to get around Kenny Thompson to make his way to get back up in that clean air. Like you said earlier, he had not been back in the pack during this entire event. So I want to see how patient he is to get around Kenny Thompson. But in the meantime, Brian Johnson just runs away with it.
Yeah, we see Chris Johnson. He's right now in fourth. We saw Jose Acosta. I mean, he was probably, I'd say, the second fastest car here so far tonight. He's back there kind of mired in the pack, fifth place. Al Kozlowski, he has climbed that mountain. He's now up to sixth. So he is looking quick right now as he works his way back up into the top five.
Yeah, now he's looking on the inside of that 42 car of Acosta. It is interesting to note that even though those top six cars are actually running away from that second pack, getting a little bit of distance, which I didn't think that would happen this early as it does. But Acosta now letting Kozlowski go on and have that inside line. Now that's going to show Kozlowski going up to fifth place.
And Brian Johnson still pulling away here. Now 8/10 is his lead. Kenny Thompson and Chris Severa definitely dueling right now for this position, but it's just so hard to pass, as you can see. I mean, Severa's just having a time trying to even get, anywhere to be able to get by Kenny Thompson. And I don't think he's going to have an easier time with Brian Johnson. So Johnson's going to be loving every bit of this. He's going to be taking advantage of this. But then again, is Johnson burning his equipment up? And we talked to him, during that after stage 2. And he mentioned trying to save that equipment, but it's hard, when you're out front to save that equipment because you're considering you're the one that's setting the pace.
Yeah, Kenny Thompson actually had a little bit of a brush with the wall there a little bit ago, and that's probably going to give Severa the edge that he needs to go by, as we see that number 5 car also found himself a little discombobulated, and now he's on the road.
Al Kozlowski getting ready to try to take him 3 wide there for a moment. He is taking advantage.
Well, Kozlowski definitely has to run on the inside line. His car is faster on the inside, so he's doing just that. He is going to keep on the inside, and just seeing him down there, looks like Thompson's going to try, but I don't think he's going to be actually able to keep it running. So Kozlowski should go ahead and actually take this position, but Thompson's still battling away with it.
I'm just really shocked at how good Al Kozlowski is on that bottom lane. I mean, I talked to Chris Severa a little bit before this race. And, he mentioned that if he even looks at the bottom the wrong way, he gets loose. So, I mean, it's like Al Kozlowski definitely is in unknown territory when it comes to be able to run that bottom, and he's running it well.
Yeah, definitely he is. And not a lot of guys been able to pick up that line like that since we started here. So it's interesting to see that the 5 car is actually off the track now. We did see him riding through the grass a couple of laps ago, and he has not yet returned. The 43 car, Paul Olsen, also considerably off the pace, as he is going to find himself a victim of becoming a lap down here for the leaders if he isn't actually able to find some speed somewhere.
Yeah, side by side right now, Jose Acosta and Chris Johnson. Jose trying to work his way up into the top 5. Kenny Thompson, he looked really quick on fire off, but I think he's definitely suffering. Actually turning, having race pace right now. He seems like he is really, really struggling. Oh, really big loose condition. They're taking him 3 wide in the middle.
Yeah, that loose condition, I think, was the result of Kenny Thompson actually getting loose in the 42 and the 48, try to do the division to get around him without going into him, if you will.
Oh, yeah. Had to find their way around as Kenny Thompson parts the Red Sea here, and just seems like he's just struggling right now. That 22 looked really good in the first stage, and it looked pretty good in the second stage too. I think that just some adjustments that this guy's been making on the car probably not helping.
3 wide for the lead right here.
Oh, wow.
Poking on the inside, and he is going to make easy work of Brian Johnson. Al Kozlowski also going to get that Speedway Angels car up there, and he now has moved up into the 2nd place position there, Brian.
And he's trying to take the lead here as he goes right down on the bottom. One thing about Kansas, I mean, it has a lot of, you wouldn't think a mile and a half has features that are kind of like a dirt track. I mean, the slider line, you're going to see guys trying to pull slide jobs, and I think that's what Al Kozlowski has probably been practicing all week. As he gets right up to the back there of Chris Severa. And man, this is what heck of a race. And I think I might have mentioned it before. I think Brian Johnson just maybe did heat those tires a little too much. I think he knew what he shouldn't do, and I think he might have did it.
Yeah, I mean, but it is hard, especially when you got guys behind you and you haven't been in the lead, to be able to actually gauge your speed, so you're just running from it, if you will, because they're in your rearview mirror. You want to keep them there, but in the process, next thing you know, your tires are the ones that suffer. But just like that, Severa back up front. Now, he's no stranger to being in the lead, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's exempt from anything either, as we saw what happened to him in stage 1.
Oh, yeah.
When he made contact with the wall.
Oh, yeah, took a ride, that's for sure. And could that happen again? I mean, has he learned his lesson? I mean, he talked about it even in his interview after stage 1, that he, adjust on that car to try to tighten it up. So hopefully that'll help out, him, but we'll have to see. Too tight could be a thing too. I mean, considering he's riding right along the wall, and you don't want to get too tight when you're close to that wall.
No, that's definitely not the case. You do not. 27 cars actually also slowing down a little bit off the pace. I think that's John Mullins. He's going to find himself now back in that 64 car. Wojcinski is also going to be falling back just a little bit.
Yeah, Derek Jacobs, the 27, I think that's who you were talking about, now actually going down pit road. So that I think that's an unscheduled stop, but I don't see any damage on that machine. So maybe just the car not handling well.
Yeah, Roger.
And it looks like Gary Adamson going to be losing the spot here. Ryan Strunk moving up to 8th. As Al Kozlowski still desperately trying to get up to Chris Rivera, but just does not seem to have the pace to do it. I mean, he's so fast. And you know, actually, Al Kozlowski was not very fast on Thursday, I will admit. So I think he definitely is coming to his own, you know, made it his own, and he's proving it right now. He actually, even though he wasn't that fast on Thursday, still managed to get a 3rd place finish. So, I mean, that's pretty cool.
You know, but we can talk about this 100 times over, but it's about consistency, man. You have to be available at the end of this thing. You could have the fastest car here all night, but if you're not around for the last lap, nobody cares. You know what I mean?
Right about that. They don't ever think about it. Yeah, he had the fastest car. You know, you think about years in advance down the road when they're talking about who won that race. That's all they care about.
Yeah, because you don't get another shot at it. I mean, it really, second place kind of, it doesn't feel good, you know, especially if you have a fast car, you want to win this thing. Speaking of that 43 car right now, he cannot be comfortable as he is going to have that horde coming in his rearview mirror, and he's got all kinds of lines of all kinds of fast cars that he's going to have to contend with.
Chris Rivera just got really loose there. That's going to maybe give Al Kozlowski a chance to throw a slider on him.
It's
really loose exit.
And it's interesting to note Keselowski has that inside line dialed in, so he's going to be there trying to make that work for him. And if you can own that inside line, you're going to be able to be a nuisance and eventually get the pass.
100%. But this is going to be interesting, though, because Paul Olson, he's running the bottom lane, because that is usually the top lane is the preferred line. So Olson could get in the way of Al Kozlowski here, maybe force him to run higher on the racetrack.
Yeah, that's just not going to make Al happy. I can guarantee you that.
I mean, what do you want to do? I mean, Paul can't just get off the racetrack. I mean, he got to be racing just like everybody else.
Well, I totally understand, but you got, you know, Olsen, I bet Keselowski spotter. He's got to be go down there and tell him to get out of the way.
100%. Now Jose Acosta is starting to catch up here to Brian Johnson. Johnson going to be under fire here shortly.
I mean,
go ahead.
And you understand the frustration of these guys, because it takes a whole lot to get that momentum, man. And Brian, once you lose it, it's gone. You know what I mean?
Oh, problems! Chris Rivera into the outside wall, tags Al Kozlowski. That is a big accident. No caution yet. And I don't think there is going to be a caution. Oh, no.
As well. What is going on? I think we just hit a heat cycle in the tires.
And no caution, still under green here, side by side for the lead. Brian Johnson and Jose Acosta now challenging or battling here. Man, my heart goes out to Al Kozlowski and Chris Rivera for that matter, for that not being a caution. I mean, that is just unfortunate.
Very unfortunate, but yet we got a new car that's in the lead as Acosta is now going to be able to take the move on Johnson for first place. I think this is going to be the second time that he's actually led a lap here in the ISCA series as he's come on board. So that crew has definitely got to be pretty excited about now, Brian.
Man, yeah, definitely very excited. I bet John Deere loving that he's on that machine right now as he up there in the front taking care of business. But, man, I just hate that, because I think Chris Rivera really had the same problem he just had earlier. I mean, whenever he got just loose, and Al Kozlowski unfortunately was right there, and just an unknowing victim. As Brian Johnson, though, he has still been keeping pretty good pace here. He says he's got a really good car in the long run. I'm curious as we are, getting closer and closer to what would I'd say definition of a long run would be.
Yeah, we got 57 laps to go in this thing, but now Acosta, this is his race to lose, because he has fought to get up front all night, yet he finally made it up there. He's got a fast car. We've seen that with what has just happened to Severa and Keselowski. Those guys are no longer going to be in his rearview mirror for a long time. So, yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see how this plays out. If we continue to go green, Brian, that's going to make this a very, very interesting change of events.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that Who would have thought anything like that was going to happen here? Robert Pattengale now challenging Ryan Strunk for the 5th position. Pattengale definitely been showing a lot of pace here so far tonight, and definitely going to benefit from, some of these fast drivers being out, or not out of it, but definitely being hampered considering the damage that was just exchanged there. But here comes Robert Pattengale. He seems like he's a lot like Al Kozlowski when he seems like he runs the bottom very well.
Yeah, well, Al was running the bottom very well, but now, he's running the back. As he is falling all the way back to just in front of the 64 car of, I believe, Greg Wachinski. So just an instant changes everyone's fate right here. And I'm going to tell you that for the person who is really, really got to be super excited about his opportunity, welcome back, Chris D. Johnson.
Yeah, and he looks like he's starting to put a lot of pressure there on Brian Johnson as Ryan Strunk is able to hold off Robert Pattengale. Now Ryan Strunk caught up here to Kenny Thompson as he tries to make a pass here. And that is for, contact!
The 22 and the 77, 22 car's been a little bit out of sorts here. He just had contact there when the 88 and the 62 made contact. But right there, yeah, him and the 77 contact there as they were trying to volley 4 positions.
I'll tell you who that helped out a ton, Robert Pattengale. He was able to drive right by.
Yeah, and, there goes Mr. Adamson right there on the inside, as he's also going to actually benefit from that as well.
Yeah, both of those cars definitely going to have some damage on them now. Unfortunate there. Like you said, I think Kenny Thompson just got, had a handling condition right there. And, unfortunately, we've seen that a lot tonight. Guys having a handling condition and someone just being an unknowing victim of that. Sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you're the windshield.
It's like we said, you got to be able to control your car in every lane on every turn. That's the issue. You can be fast around the outside, you can be fast around the inside, but you got to be fast in traffic.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why you have to be able to be able to improvise. I mean, yeah, you can have a car that really handles well on the top, but you have to be able to improvise when you're dealing with lap traffic. I mean, sometimes you're going to have to go to places you're going to be uncomfortable with, and I think that's what we've seen a lot of tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're looking like we're going to have 50 to go, we should actually be coming into our green flag pit windows here pretty soon. So, Brian, if it's okay with you, I think why don't we go and step away and get another word from our sponsors. That way we'll be freed up to bring you the most of green flag pit stops as well.
Sounds like a plan to me.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
Come alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
We are back. Appreciate everybody sticking with us here. What a great race it has been. Definitely been a very dramatic, and I think drama is going to keep on playing out. I mean, we just talked about it before that commercial break, how fuel window has opened up. I am of the mind a lot of these guys are going to probably try to split this run in half. Brian Johnson, I know, is about 38 laps into his stint right now. Jose Acosta about 31. So I think we're probably in the next 5 to 10 laps. That's when guys are going to go down. Al, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm the guy. I'm going to wait until the last possible minute. As long as I can control it, I'm not losing too much time from the leader. I'm going to run that thing out because then I'll have freshies longer. So I think if these guys a lot of these guys are going to be in the same boat. I believe if their cars are running good, why bring it down? I think you stay out until you absolutely have to come in because Also, as the tires continue to wear, somebody's going to run into the wall, and that could bring out a late race caution.
Yeah, and also, I mean, even just like I mentioned earlier in this race, whenever we saw that interesting late stage caution that kind of caused a split decision on tires there. I mean, when it comes to actually predicting someone's pace when they're on older tires and you're on new tires, I mean, you're going to be wanting to try to get by them as quick as you possibly can, and it's hard to predict how the difference in momentum is going to be.
Looks like the 4 car is actually slowing down. Green flag pit stops are actually starting for some, Brian. That's an interesting thing. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh, no, that's fine. I mean, and it's no wonder that Johnson would go down a little bit earlier than these guys, considering he stayed out before stage 2.
Absolutely. And guys, I just want to say to the people that are actually here watching this, man, the ISCA, if you want to see more racing like this is a big difference from what we had last Saturday night. But, you can like us, follow us, and subscribe to us. I don't know how that works. I'm not all savvy on that technology, but I think it's Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch. But, yeah, do that, and definitely a lot of things going on. See what's happening. If you're looking at wanting to be a sponsor or whatever, the information is there. Green
Ryan
flag.
Strunk now taking a pit stop here.
Yep, green flag. Pit stops continue. Like I said, Ryan Strunk now, like you said, is on pit road. So here's the thing, too. This is one of those racetracks, Brian, where it deceives you because you think, well, I mean, pit road, but you still got to be as fast in as you can. You got to hit your spot, and you got to be as fast out as you can. You cannot afford to do like Keselowski did under the stage break there and actually slide past your window, because that would have detrimental consequences for you here.
Oh yeah, especially under green flag pit stops. I mean, that yellow kind of saved him. He still had an opportunity to climb that mountain, but when that's a mountain you can't climb. If you make mistakes like that, you got to back into your pit box. You speed anything like that. I mean, that is going to absolutely kill your race if no cautions do come out. Jose Acosta definitely probably weighing heavily on his mind to make sure he doesn't make any mistakes, as Chris Johnson has been showing a lot of pace right now, starting to catch up here to Jose.
Yep, Chris Rivera now on pit road.
So a lot of green flag pit stops starting to kick off. Kenny Thompson, I do believe, taking a trip down also.
Yep, 27 cars also on pit road.
So a lot of guys, taking that chance, making that gamble to go down, as we see actually Brian Johnson trying to get around Al Keselowski here. He is, of course, just taking a pit stop. He's going to probably be the fastest man on track for a minute here.
Yeah, not sure what's going on with Derek Jacobs. He had actually came in not too many laps ago. He hadn't had a very long run in between his pit sequence. But, yeah, that's interesting. That's going to put him yet another lap down. So have to be watching what's going on there now as the 43 car of Paul Olsen is on pit road.
A lot of guys taking that trip down pit road right now, as I do believe we see Chris Rivera actually making his exit off of pit road, and Ryan Strunk right there ahead of him, and that will be a race for position when it comes down to it. Of course, John Mullins, he is the last man on the lead lap, just got passed by Strunk. I'm just wondering, when is Jose going to pit? I think he might be having the same thoughts you were saying.
Chris Johnson's into the wall. Chris D. Johnson at 48. He was doing everything he could, but then all of a sudden he lost it and ended up smacking the wall. So that's not good. But yeah, I think I agree. Acosta should be coming in soon, as mostly everybody now is going to actually start to come in. You're not going to gain anything at this point. So yeah, I think that you'll actually see that in the near future. You'll see him actually coming on down pit road as well.
Oh yeah, I just was taking a look back just for curiosity's sake to see what happened with Johnson, and that was a hard smack on the outside wall coming out of 4. Man, and that kind of forced him to pit there, as Gary Adamson follows him right down.
Yeah, that's definitely not what he was wanting, needing, or desiring.
Not at all. And I'll tell you what, if a caution came out right now, if that had caused the caution, I'll tell you who would be real happy. Al Keselowski, as he is right now up to 3rd, but has yet to pit. Robert Pattengale, though, looking really strong. He's actually running faster than the leader, Jose Acosta. I'm telling you, I've been following Robert with great interest. He has been looking so good lately.
Well, not only that, But that's definitely good news for him because Pattingale, you know, if he could actually get let's say if he could get a top 5 finish in this race, I mean his whole camp that would be definitely a breath of fresh air for those guys. They are in need of a good finish here tonight.
Now Kozlowski taking his trip down pit road. So I do believe that leaves Jose Acosta, Robert Pattingale, Kenny Thompson, and John Mullins, who have yet to pit here. Robert Pattingale now taking his trip down. Jose Acosta, now one of the last guys out there. And he is definitely waiting until the last possible minute. But you mentioned it before. I mean, he's going to have newer tires than everybody because of this decision. And that John Deere, man, I think he has every ability to win this race here tonight. We'll have to wait and see, though, once that green flag pit stops happens.
Yeah, because, you know, he right now he'll have 35 to go. And yeah, if he's got that long run speed right there, and it's looking like he does, he's not wanting to come in.
And here comes Brian Johnson, going to be making his way around Robert Pattingale. Pattingale is going to be exiting off the pits here any time now. So I do believe when all said is done, when everything cycles back around, everybody has pitted, Brian Johnson is going to probably be your leader. But for how long?
Costa's on pit road, lead pit road.
There he goes. So, and it looks like John Mullins is going to take the lead here. But, of course, he has yet to pit either. So, man, this is going to be crazy to see how this all cycles out. Does Acosta make any mistakes? John Mullins still on the racetrack. He is the last man on the old tires right now. So, I tell you what, a caution would definitely benefit him. Here comes Acosta off of pit road here. And Brian Johnson is able to get around him. So like I said before, Brian Johnson probably going to be your leader once this all cycles out. But Jose is going to have much better tires. I mean, I'm going to look at the difference here right quick, Al, on the tires. And it looks like, Johnson has 11 lap older tires right now than Acosta. So that's a huge difference.
Yeah, especially at this track, especially with the remainder that they have there. You know, that delta is going to be the difference, Brian.
Chris Severa right now is up to third. Acosta, you can see him in the background there, is starting to catch him at about, I believe, 1.2 seconds in between these guys. So the race is going to be heating up for third any time now. And Chris Severa, I do believe, is on 10 lap older tires than Jose Acosta.
So, as everything has played out, and Acosta has actually done his math right. Looks like the pit crew chief and the spotter and the driver are all in alignment. So this is literally going to be his race to lose. If he can continue to turn lap times as consistent as he has, and also I don't think he's run into anything yet. Has he, Brian?
Well, there's a little bit of right side damage, but nowhere near on what anybody else has. I mean, it looks fairly clean, but there's a little crinkle, but just a tiny crinkle. Nothing compared to what Chris Severa has on his machine. As he does catch up here, and of course we saw John Mullins just take that trip down pit road. Brian Johnson, now your leader, has 4.5 seconds on this field. And now going to be 30 laps to go here next time by.
And this 30 laps is going to fly by until those tires start to wear, and then it's going to get interesting.
I mean, look at how much faster Jose is right now. I mean, Brian Johnson, 32.1 last time by. Jose, 31.3. He just passed Chris Severa like he was standing still. But the thing is Jose still has an opportunity to mess up here, though, when it comes to burning that equipment up too much, trying to chase that carrot on the stick. That is Brian Johnson right now.
And just listen,
Kenny Thompson or something.
Yeah, Kenny Thompson has brought out the caution.
Oh, no. We have to take a look back and see what happened here.
Well, that's going to change everything.
Oh, yeah. Now it's anybody's game now. And so, yeah, King Thompson loses it into, I do believe, 2. And just, hits the wall, spins all the way around. That's a single car spin. No one else involved. Man, you hate to see that. And Brian Johnson's going to love to see that. Because, I mean, I'm sure he was looking at his relative and like, oh, Jose's coming. But with that, why don't we go ahead and take another quick step away, and we'll be right back with some more racing action.
We believe it means more when something's made by hand here at Cracker Barrel, and we hope you think so too. So stop on by. You're always welcome.
And we are back, and some interesting developments while we took that quick step away. Jose Acosta deciding to stay out. Everyone else has went down pit road. Of course, Acosta only did a handful of laps there out.
Yeah, but there's a handful. There's more than a handful of laps left. There's 28 to go. By the time the caution flies again, that's going to probably put us at 25 to go. I don't know. I don't know, Brian. I mean, I'm not here to second guess the drivers. I'm not here to. I'm just here to commentate and have commentary with you about the race.
Yeah, and Jose, definitely a huge call here. I mean, 6 laps he has on his tires right now, versus the 0 those other guys are going to have. I mean, we saw him when he was going around Severa, who had 10-lap older tires than him. He did it like he was standing still. I think these guys are going to give him the same treatment here. But I don't really blame Jose for doing what he did. I think that no matter what, considering we're getting closer to the end of this race, a lot of these guys are going to do the exact opposite of what he does because he's the leader.
Once again, I'm just here to provide commentary. I have no.
Just here not to get fined.
I'm speechless. Kind of. I'm not certain. If he is actually able to pull this thing off and get a podium finish, I would love to talk to him about this, because this right here would be the call of the race.
Yeah, I mean, of course, he's probably going to be wanting to win this thing, but that caution, I think, is really what kind of cost him this thing. I think Jose had the speed to get this thing done and win it, but this is going to put it right back into the hands of people like Chris Severa. We saw Severa earlier was fighting for the win. Al Kozlowski, I mean, he's back in 8th right now. Didn't have a ton of damage after that whole incident. Could he work his way back up?
Severa's back in 3rd, but another thing to kind of play into what we've been saying about Acosta the whole time, his car is actually faster on the long run. So maybe that is his where he wanted to on the bell curve.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could be a decision that he's making here for the longer run, but I mean, it's not going to be as long of a run as he probably needs. As a lot of these guys are going to be putting a lot of pressure on him.
Well, 25 laps, that was the length of the stages, and you can wear out a set of Goodyears in 25 laps on this racetrack. So, I mean, keep that in mind as the lights are out on the caution car, the pace car, and we are doubling this thing up. But that caution just changed the entire dynamics of this race, because not having that caution, Severa, Kozlowski, they're out of it. Not having that caution, Strunk, Wachinski, they're out of it. But that caution, that brings Paddingale, that brings Mullet. All of these guys now are back up here, and they've got a shot, because once again, this is anybody's race.
And this is really going to make it heat up quite a bit. I mean, now these guys are going to be really going for the gold. I mean, I think the intensity is going to rise quite a bit. These guys are going to want to race as hard as they possibly can. I mean, this is really that caution acted. This is a defibrillator to a lot of these guys' race.
Well, you got the data for this. This is that 25 lap shootout. Let's just call this stage 4.
Well, there goes the pace car down pit road. Jose Acosta going to have control of this field.
And he's not wasting
early.
any time.
He didn't waste any time there. A little bit of wiggling going on for Chris Rivera as he gets back to the gas.
Yeah, I think I know exactly what Acosta was thinking. I think he was like, look, I'm going to go ahead and run on this thing, and that way they can just run me down. But, you know, Kansas is one of those tracks as the 77 car is trying to make it around that 4 car. Now Chris Rivera's always got himself all the way back up to second place. You know he's got to be feeling good, and that's just an too familiar sight for that 42 car.
Yeah, I almost feel like that 62, though, he's trying to get away from Al Kozlowski. I don't think he's worried about trying to get the lead. I think he's just like, I don't want to be near him because he might be a little upset with me right now.
Oh, and you know, Kozlowski's got to be feeling awesome about this, too.
Oh, someone into the wall. John Mullins, I do believe.
Yeah, again, Mullins into the wall.
Oh, Gary Adamson there into the wall. I'm sorry. But Jose Acosta pulling away right now, up to a half a second he's got on these guys. So right now, his car's still handling well despite the deficit he has on tires compared to the rest of these field.
Now let's go ahead and do the rest of the math on this because there is a deficit, and that deficit is going to be the amount of laps he had on his tires prior to the last 25 laps. So,
Strunk getting really loose there.
Actually very loose there, Strunk, and now that's going to cause a pretty wide condition.
Robert Pattengale wheeling get around him on the bottom there, but looked like Strunk was like not having that, and it looks like it is going to go 3 wide. You called it right.
And then that was, whew.
Oh, Strunk almost getting into Brian Johnson there. And 3 wide still as they enter 1, and Robert Pattengale benefiting from it as he's able to get by both of those guys. So 2 for 1, up to 4th now, Pattengale. And we just missed Al Kozlowski side by side right now with Chris Rivera. And he takes over 2nd like Chris is standing still. This has got to be feeling like a great recovery for Al Kozlowski.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There was not going to be any contention from Rivera whatsoever on that pass. But as we're looking back here, Brian, these guys are definitely not in any position. No one's just trying to lay down and let this thing in. These guys are racy all the way back from first place through the field. So now Acosta is going to have the G&G guys on his rear tail. I don't think he's going to be able to hold them off, Brian.
Mullins getting really loose. Oh, he gets sideways. Bunch of tire smoke here as he's trying to get around Ryan Strunk. He was doing a good job. Got really loose there. Saw a bunch of tire smoke there.
He drifted that thing through the corner.
Tokyo Drift.
Kozlowski into the wall. That is definitely going to end his chance as he just lost it a little bit. Got up into that outside wall. Dinged that 88 Speedway Angels car. But now, well, I don't know. He looks like he's going to still try to run it. But Rivera now, nothing between him and the 42 car, but air and opportunity, and he is gobbling up most of that air, Brian.
He definitely is, and that is going to cause Al Kozlowski's car not to handle as well. I mean, could tighten it up quite a bit. Also, you know, I think Robert Pattengale is one that he's looking through his cockpit right now and seeing everything that's going on in front of him, and I think he's seeing gold. He could might maybe be able to win this race if the racing for this top 3 gets a little too heated.
Yeah. But Acosta he's not going to want to have that race heat up at all. As a matter of fact, he's just going to keep that thing in the wind there. And that John Deere Chevrolet is just going to be running. I think the next thing he's going to be trying to run into is going to be lap traffic.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he is going to. Unless he, Paul Olson maybe. I mean, but everyone else pretty close here. Gary Adamson, last man on lead lap in 8th place, 4.2 seconds back behind the leader. But I am shocked, though, at Jose Acosta. You know, on the older tires, he has managed to hold all these guys off. We were kind of thinking, like, what kind of call is this? This is not a good call at all. But I think that's why we're up here in the broadcast booth, and he's down there making the decisions, right?
I'm just here to provide commentary about the events that are occurring on the racetrack.
Robert Pattengale, though, under fire here as Brian Johnson tries to make the high side work here. Pattengale has caught up to Al Kozlowski, too, so there is going to be a challenge here for the top 3.
Yeah, and what's going to happen is as these guys close the distance between them, they're actually going to close the distance on that 42 car as well. So right now, you and I just get to sit back and watch this thing unfold and hope that it does go green for the remainder of this. And I think we're going to actually, we've got our own little version of the Run of the Roses going on here, Brian.
Pat Gale moving up to the top here. Going to try to get around Al Kozlowski. Kozlowski not going to want that to happen. Pat Gale getting a huge run on the front stretch. Oh, and that's a problem. Al Kozlowski. Yeah, that's one thing you don't want to do. Put 2 tires on the racetrack and 2 tires on the apron. And that's exactly what we saw there. Even though that is a racing surface, you can go down on the front stretch and drive down there. But if you put 2 different, put your left sides on one part and your right sides on another, you're going to see a lot of problems as Robert Pattengale up to 3rd.
And I'm going to tell you, though, the Pattengale, that 17 camp, they've got to be extremely pumped up right now with a top 5 stage finish as well. Now it's a possibility of a top 5 race finish. That's the best news that camp has had in a long time, Brian. And I know they're all going to be super excited. They've got to be on their feet cheering Robert on. That's going to be a great run for those guys. He's also the sponsor for the Tucson Sound Art. So, yeah, kudos to you there, Robert. And way to go, bud. Keep it up.
I mean, I'm cheering him on at this, time. I mean, he is catching Chris Severa. He last time by was almost 2/10 faster than Severa, but Brian Johnson is putting a lot of pressure on him right now. So I think the race is really starting to heat up as we have, I do believe, 12 laps to go next time by.
Yeah, speaking of starting to heat up, Kozlowski is slowly drifting away as he is falling off the pace, and looks like that 77 car is going to be the next one that's going to be trying to make him dinner, so to speak. But Kozlowski, he's had some rough times here today, man. His best position all the way up to contending for the lead before he got into it with his UNG teammate. Just unfortunate for him, but hopefully actually able to bring that thing home for a top 10 finish.
Here comes Pattengale on the inside of Chris Severa, challenging for 2nd place. Brian Johnson also in contention here. But, yeah, you're right. I mean, Al Kozlowski I think he had a chance to win this race here tonight. Unfortunately, though, did not go his way, and that's just the nature of racing. Is Pattengale still trying to challenge Chris Severa? Can he make the pass? I mean, it's one thing to catch someone, another thing completely to pass. And I think that's something we live and die by when it comes to iRacing.
Yeah, Pattengale got just a little bit loose there, which I think is going to open up the door a little bit for Johnson to try to make a move on him on the outside. But think about it like this, Brian. The way I see it is all of these guys are down there racing their little hearts out just for the opportunity to talk to you and Big Al, as Pattengale's going to lose that a little bit there, and now he's going to recorrect it on the backstretch and hopefully not lose too many positions.
And Jose Acosta still out to now 1.2 seconds. I mean, this race is all but locked up for him if he can just hold his pace right now. And so we'll have 10 laps to go as Severa trying to battle off Brian Johnson. This is the race for 2nd place. This is definitely where everybody's eyes needs to be.
Yeah, absolutely. But I can only imagine that what's going to be coming through the speakers of the headset of that 42 car, they're going to be telling them, just do what you've been doing. Throw strikes. Don't do anything out of the ordinary. Just keep it going. Just be consistent. And if he does just that, Brian, he might have himself a chance to pull off his first ISCA victory.
Definitely a great, story there for him. I mean, to not be, one of the old guard. I mean, we see a lot of the old guys, Chris Severa, we've seen, Brian Johnson. We've seen a lot of these guys capture wins. But we have, someone that is that new just showing up and getting a win. I mean, that is a story, that's for sure. As Pattengale shoves one in underneath Chris Severa, trying to get that pass completed. Just not able to get there, as Brian Johnson is up to now 2nd place.
Yeah, and the key is not just to come out here and win, but to come out here and win against some of the names of like Chris D. Johnson, Chris Severa, Al Kozlowski. I mean, when you're out here racing with these guys, it's not just like it's a game of pickup ball in the backyard. These guys are racing for the donuts. They're risking it for the biscuits.
They definitely are. Robert Pattengale right now risking it for the biscuit as he tries to make the pass on Chris Severa. Chris Severa almost trying to pinch him down quite a bit, but Robert Pattengale able to get clear, and he is up to 3rd. Yeah, they are risking it for the biscuit right now as we're soon to be having 5 laps to go in just a couple laps. Man, this has been one exciting race for sure, man.
Definitely been an exciting race, but you know that 42 car still not quite out of shotting range, so he's still in it. He still has to keep this thing together if he wants to win it. Not over just yet. Doesn't look like Johnson slowing down. Severa or Pattengale, these guys are still out here trying to make this thing a competition, Brian, as we're 6 to go.
Yeah, they definitely are. I mean, Brian Johnson last time by was 0.2 faster than Jose. So, I mean, even though he does have 1.5 seconds of a lead, you know, I don't think he has enough time to make that up. But, I mean, Jose seems like he's hitting that limit when it comes to tire wear.
Yeah, I just hopefully he continues to hit his marks and keep. Look, the right side of that car is awfully clean and shiny, Brian. I mean, when you can come here and run on this 1.5 mile track for 100, what do we run here? 134 laps and keep it clean and pristine. That's a testament to itself.
Oh, and Severa able to make it by Robert Pattengale again here. So still the battle. Oh, Ryan Strunk getting really loose there behind these guys. He is in 5th place. It looks like he's going to hold on to it, but man, that was scary.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, Acosta doesn't want to see anything. He's just telling everybody to keep it slow, keep it together, 5 to go, guys, 5 to go. Everybody's just excited right now.
Yeah, he definitely does not want to see a caution come out here as he now catches up to Derek Jacobs, trying to put him another lap down. This, you know, lap traffic definitely could, it seems like it is going to come into play here. I didn't think it was going to, but it seems like it will here. But I'm sure Derek Jacobs hopefully going to get out of the way here of Jose Acosta.
Yeah, I don't think Jacobs was definitely not going to try to interfere with anything in the process. Brian, what an exciting race it has been, and we're actually getting ready to witness the guy who is actually not been in the ISCA very long at all, has a potential chance to get his first ISCA victory here in this Tucson Sound Art Cup tonight. That's just as exciting as I think it's going to get, as we are right now coming up on 2 to go. So 2 more laps around this track, and Acosta can find himself a winner.
Yeah, he definitely seems like he's got the pace to do it here. I think he's hanging on for dear life. He's grabbing the antlers by both sides here, trying to make something happen here. As Pattengale still challenging Chris Severa. Man, this race for 3rd. I mean, who are we going to talk to? I think these guys are fighting that hard because they want to talk to us at the end of the night.
That's exactly what it is. That's what I'm going with anyway.
Oh, Severa into the outside wall a tiny bit there. As now the white flag, I do believe, out in the air, and that will make this race official. Next flag is going to end it no matter what happens. As
Pattengale putting the crossover on Chris Severa right there. Lap traffic will come into play into this one, and I'm wondering if, is Pattengale going to be able to use that 27 car of Jacobs as a pick? But apparently not. Severa going to hold the edge on him, and they're going to be dragging racing to the line here.
Pattengale's got it.
Got him.
Nice. That was such a great finish there. And Jose Acosta going to claim the win. What an exciting finish to this race. Love to see it. Robert Pattengale, I do believe that might be his first top 3 in this series.
Yeah, that's awesome. I don't think you could actually have had a better finish. Those guys have got to be over the moon. They're going to party hard tonight, Brian. With that done, ladies and gentlemen, and this race actually being complete, as we tally the results to make them official, let's step away and take another word from our sponsors.
There are moments that surprise and delight the mind and the senses. Introducing Sound Art, the world's first truly customizable, concealed, flat panel art speaker system. A revolutionary combination of incredible sound delivered from your most meaningful pictures. When art and technology intersect, there is a seamless blend of creativity and function.
Come alive in the streetlight, pulling at the stars in the moonlight. Every time I feel you close.
With Sound Art, anyone can print their own artwork or pick from numerous licensed artwork that we have. The possibilities are limitless. Enjoy beautiful and amazing sound throughout your home. The entire surface of your artwork generates incredibly robust sound. Your art never sounded so good.
And what a finish. I mean, that was a barn burner of a finish. Of course, Jose Acosta going to be wrapping up the victory here. Brian Johnson going to finish in second place. Third place going to belong to none other than Robert Pattengale, and we have him right now in the booth. Robert, you got to be feeling good after that one, huh?
I am feeling good, but I am worn out.
Man, what a finish there. Side by side with Chris Severa, barely inching him out. I mean, man, you just seem like you have been growing and getting better and better as we've watched you in ISCA.
Well, you race with good guys. Eventually you get better and you know, just slow but sure. And just for whatever reason, the setup I have and the track has just worked out perfect for me. So, you know, I made a mistake on Thursday night. That should have had me in the top 10. But, yeah, what a race. It was super fun.
Yeah, get yourself a podium here, and you definitely earned it. I mean, you had the speed there to definitely contend, I think, all night long. Excellent work, man. I mean, were you excited, you know, to race here at Kansas? Do you have any experience with this track?
You know, just what we've raced before, but for whatever reason, the setup this week, you know, everything just clicked for me. I did the NIS earlier this morning and finished in third, which, you know, for me is, you know, definitely, you know, moving up. But, you know, I can't always say that's going to be the case, but you get it while you can.
If it seems like the iRacing gods have been smiling upon you here tonight, considering, you know, third place in NIS and third place here, man. Excellent work to you, man. How are you feeling about Texas, though? Much different mile and a half coming up.
I got some work to do there, but, you know, I'm working on the setups and trying to get a little more practice in. I watch Kenny and Al and all the guys during the week getting that time in. You know, I think that makes a difference when you practice and you get the time in. You're going to do better on the track.
Well, you definitely proved that. Nail on the head here tonight, man. Congratulations, Robert, on your top 3 finish here tonight. Who can we shout out for you?
Well, you know, obviously the league sponsor, Tucson Sounder, but I'm going to shout out to Jeffrey Souza. He built this setup actually for the LTAC League, and it's worked really good. So shout out to Souza.
Yeah, definitely a big shout out to him for sure, and great job to you, Robert. Hopefully, we get many more opportunities to interview you in the future.
10-4. Thank you.
All right, we got Big Al waiting here with Brian Johnson for our second place interview.
Hey, Brian, it's Big Al again. Welcome back.
Hey, Al.
So you made a risky call there. Well, some would say risky, but you made a call there at the end of stage 2. You stayed out. That call actually played out for you once we had a late race caution. But overall, how are you feeling coming away with a second place finish?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. You know, the car was it was good. I wish we had a longer run there at the end, but congrats to Jose. He ran a good race. It was fun running with him, but overall, you know, I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So going into the week, because you know we hadn't seen you here for a while, but going into the week with your preparation, where were you guys thinking you were gonna be coming out of this thing?
Man, I thought I was going to be wrecked or finish last. Haven't practiced hardly any this week. Stepped away for a while, but came back, practiced a little bit before the race, and you know, tweaked on a setup and sent it. So, but had a good time. I missed it, and I enjoyed. I look forward to racing a few more with you guys.
Well, awesome. So next week we're heading to another mile and a half, which is, you know, welcome back to you since you're doing so well there. Headed to Texas. You got any aspirations for that racetrack?
Yeah, that track is tough. You have 2 different corners. It's going to be tough setting up a car. You really have to set it up for 3 and 4, and then, you know, just struggle through 1 and 2. But we'll see how it goes. You know, this car is it's different. It's tricky. So we'll put in some practice and see what we can do.
Well, definitely, if you come prepared next week like you did this week, it should definitely prove to be exciting. Congratulations to you again for a overall second place finish. Before I let you go, anybody like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I want to shout out to Tucson Sound Art for sponsoring the series. The guys over at G&G, you Big Al, Kenny, Brian Britt, you guys put on a heck of a show, so appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much for your time, sir, and you have a great evening.
Thanks, guys.
Back to you,
Oh,
Brian.
thank you, Big Al. Great interview there. Brian Johnson, your second place finisher. Next up, though, the man who made a pretty risky decision there on that late race caution there, 6 laps on your tires, Jose. Did you really think you were going to win this race after that decision?
I I did not. Before I say anything else, I want to say thank you to my son, 8 year old, that he was watching the race, and and actually this victory is for him.
Well, you love to hear that. I'm sure he was proud to see, his daddy out there winning this race. I mean, you had a fast car all night long. I mean, I would say, definitely had a top three machine, and you seemed like you had a really strong long run. Do you think that's what lent to your ability tonight?
Yes, definitely. The first two thing and the restart, I was slow. Everybody was passing me kind of. I didn't have the speed on the beginning, but once in lap 5, lap 6, I start getting a little of rhythm, and that that was my decision right there at the end. I was like, well, it's only 5 laps, so might as well just stay out. I'll probably be fine.
Oh, apparently it was fine because it netted you a win here. I think that if that late race caution hadn't came out, you probably still would have been able to get the victory. Just considering you had had waited to pit. Talk us a little bit through that too. I mean, you waited a long time to pit compared to everybody else. So what was your thought process there?
Yeah, that was another strategy of mine. I was like, well, I want to pit. I want to be the last one to pit, and hopefully there was a caution that could also help me out. And basically to have fresh tires at the end than anybody else. So I took a little bit longer to get in the pit. Um, Obviously, like yellow flag didn't came out, and it came out after the fact. um, so I was like, great.
Still managed to come home with that victory though, man. Congratulations for sure. How are you feeling about Texas coming up next week? I mean, a much different mile and a half.
Well, I got no idea. These cars are actually new. To be honest, I did not practice any this whole week
Oh
for
wow.
Kansas, and I started practicing right at the event, and I was spinning, I was hitting the wall. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what else. I even sent the text message to my coworkers. They also watching the race. Thank you for everybody watching, my coworkers, especially to Aaron, my friend. I know he's having a blast on the other side, drinking and getting drunk. Um, but yeah, I didn't have no practice, no nothing. So the only thing that you know I said to myself, just don't hit the wall. Just don't hit the wall, and everything will be fine. I know Chris Severa was fast. The '88 car, forgot his name. He was fast too, Al. And that wreck, I mean, when I saw that, I was like, wow, this is it. You know, because it was them, me, and Brian. We were fast actually, and I didn't thought I had anything for them. I was just chilling in the back, just relax, try not to hit the wall. And once they hit the wall and they wreck, I was like, well, I guess it's my turn, right?
It definitely was, man. I mean, you definitely got to be feeling a lot of pride considering, you haven't been in ISCA very long either. I mean, we've seen a lot of guys. I mean, I'm not trying to throw any shade at them, of course, but they've been in this series a long time and they've never gotten a win. And you come in here and you get your win. I mean, that's got to feel like somewhat of an accomplishment.
Yeah, definitely. I feel good about that. It came out of nowhere, actually. I did not thought I was gonna win, especially when I sent a message to all my friends saying, "Hey, watch the race today. Watch me wreck." And then I actually won. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
Well, you've been shouting out a lot of people so far here tonight. Who else can we shout out for you after that strong win?
Oh man. Especially all my family. I know my mom was watching too. Uh, my friends, I already mentioned all of them. But you guys to actually uh, put up a good show here, and to the league. It looks fun.
Well, it definitely was fun watching you here tonight. Congratulations once again, Jose.
Thank you.
That was your winner, Jose Acosta. What a race we had here tonight. It saw a lot of, I'd say, first for ISCA as we saw Robert Pattengill finishing third here. We saw Brian Johnson coming back and finishing in second. We saw Jose Acosta get his first victory. Any final thoughts, Al?
Wow, that was just an awesome race. Awesome for the ICA. Congratulations to Jose. Congratulations to everybody. Thanks, Kenny, for what he does for us behind the scenes. Thank you, Brian. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors, the Tucson Sound Art, and actually for the sponsors of this race here tonight as well. And that's all I got, Brian.
Well, that is all I think we have here for tonight. Also, make sure you tune in tomorrow. I do believe around 6 p.m. We're going to be having the ISCA 600. Going to be some money on the line for that one. And if you haven't signed up yet, you still have the opportunity to sign up. Of course, qualifying is over, but you still do have the ability to start in the back and have a chance to win some money. I mean, we're going to have quite a show, 600 miles at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So even if you're not going to be participating, make sure you tune in. And we appreciate everybody out there tuning in here tonight. And have a great night.